2:27 to go. McNabb dropping. It's intercepted at the 10 to the 20.
He's gone.
Going coast to coast. Rodney Barber to the 50 to the 40. Barber to the 30. Nobody's going to touch him. Rodney Barber. 10, 5. The Super Bowl, and they're trying to win it for us. Third down, 18, dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, throws up the middle. It's intercepted at the 30. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 25, 20. Derek Brooks all the way. There it is. The dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl. And almost over the top. Second effort. He's got it. He's got it, we think. They think they got it. There it is. The triple triumph. He's sacked at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And down and 10. Blitz coming. Heineke flushed it. He's sacked at the 41-yard line. That time the blitz pays off. And Levante David has a quarterback sack. Here's the snap. Play action fake. Brady looking. Throws toward the end zone. Caught ball. Touchdown Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rob Gronkowski's got 2 today. Chiefs dropping to throw Mahomes. We run a stunt, and we sack him at the 50-yard line. Wow, he's clobbered. Fumble the football, recovered by the line. There's the snap. Mahomes running to his right. Look out, he may run. Mahomes directly goes toward the end down. Battle intercepted. Picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world, and we still have a minute 33 to go. Devin White, what a great second season. Here's the snap. Brady dropping, looking. Brady throws. Caught ball. It's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Rachaad White. Touchdown Buccaneers. Fire the cannons. Bucs tie the game at 16. Down goal the snap. Brady's going to throw. Looking. Throws a dart. That's caught. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin. He makes the catch right beneath the goalpost. Mayfield has time, cocks the arm, runs the ball. He's going to run to the 30. He runs to the 35. He has a first down. Wow! Hippie ankle, bruised ribs. He's got guts. Hey, the 6 guys up front. Bucs digging 2-point try. Push. And I don't know if he got it. They have not indicated yet. He did not get it in. In motion, Shepard to the left. We fake the end around, hand the ball off, running to the right. Irving inside the 10 to the 5. 3-2-1. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Bucky Irving takes it to the house. Second down, 10. Rachaad White now in the backfield. Baker Mayfield throws a sideline route downfield. Caught ball to the 5. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Mike Evans does it again. Fire the cannons, Bucs. Here's the snap to Rattler. Here comes pressure. Gets the pass. Near sideline. Incomplete pass. Bucs take the ball away. On downs. Now in motion. Mike Evans drifts over to the left slot. Baker Mayfield shotgun. They know what we're going to do. Baker Mayfield looks, throws the ball to caught ball. Evans, he's got it to the 40-yard line. 1,000 plus. Mike Evans, 11 seasons in a row. How about them Buccaneers?
What is going on, Buccaneer fans, Bucs Nation, the crew? I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing great. Actually, I'm doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day out here in Massachusetts. Little change of scenery out here outside on the deck. Hopefully the mosquitoes are not out to bite my ass. But we have a good show lined up for you guys. 8 o'clock, we're going to be joined by a special guest. We actually have quite a few guests joining us. We have Jay Retcher at 8:30. And then at 9 o'clock, we have Around the NFL with Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, Jamie, and maybe Dino. We'll see what happens, but that's going to be a good time. But without further ado, I want to bring in a special guest right now to join us. It's been a long time. I love his content. I used to do some stuff with him, and I'm going to give you guys some advice right now. You better come with your facts, because if you don't, he'll chew your ass up. So without further ado, it's about bucking time. Mr. AJ Turnup. AJ, what's up, my
What's
brother?
good,
How
y'all?
we doing? How we
I'm
doing?
doing all right, man. Happy to be here. Bucs season, football season is here. That's what is most important. But for me, it's the Bucs. I'm ready. We got shit going. It's no stopping us. Super Bowl or bust. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, man. It's so. I was talking about this, AJ. I kept on saying, I'm like, there's something special about this season coming up. I'm kind of getting those like Tom Brady vibes a little bit. Like when Brady first got here, you just kind of knew like something special is about to happen. This year, I feel like something special is going to happen as long as this team can stay healthy. With the acquisitions that we have, we're so lined up with depth on this team, as we've seen week one with the preseason. Some dudes really came out the ball. You remember me saying last year, hey, I love the offense going in, but the defense feels a little shaky to me. And that's because of the depth. We have great depth on offense, but now it seems to be completed. Like we saw what happened last week in the preseason. So let's get this show started. Man, I want to get your thoughts. Week one, I was listening to you on the Aftermath with Bucks Report yesterday. What's your take on what you saw from week one? I know it's only week one, brother. I get it. It's only week one. But what's your take on week one? How you feeling about it?
The first thing is I look for people that are playing for rosters. To me, that's the number one thing. When I see that you're playing for a roster, no matter what draft you were, that is when I know this team is going to do something. And the defense showed out. Jacob Parrish, and I said this on my TikTok, y'all, on AJ Turnup, he was the guy who played like he wanted to be on a roster. And for some reason, man, it's these fourth round picks that are coming out of nowhere for the past few years for us. My man doing the damn thing, Louie. Last year we had Bucky. Now we got Jacob. So I was very impressed with him. He's going to be a hell of a nickel corner. Then I love the fact that Nick Jackson was very steady. And I like the fact that we were getting more turnovers. Last season, it was a miracle that we got interceptions. Now, in our first preseason, we got 3 of them. So I'm happy about that. McMillan picked up where he left off. Abuka's going to be a stud. Trask looked competent. So overall, you're right. The defense showed me that we're trying to be aggressive and we're looking to take turnovers. And the most important thing that I think we have this year, Louis, like you said, is depth. We did not have depth out there, Bucs fans. Remember, Savassier went down after Detroit. Everyone else besides Levante was backups. The secondary depleted. Winfield basically came back too quick, and so at this point, we are complete, like you said, Louis. Being complete is the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about having everybody doesn't have to be a superstar. Being complete. So yes, Louis, I am happy from what I saw. And did you hear the report of what happened in Pittsburgh today?
I did not. There's been so much stuff. Like I had a chaotic day at work today, like just crazy. And I got a brand new MacBook Pro that I'm like still getting familiar with. I'm still trying to figure out the camera and stuff like that. So like I was like in a rush trying to get everything done. But yeah, I'm excited to do the show and stuff. But I was like, oh, I got to figure this out. But no, what happened in Pittsburgh today? I can only imagine. What happened in Pittsburgh?
So apparently, Ramsey in the joint practices, because we played the Steelers, y'all, Saturday at 7. Apparently, Ramsey was chirping a little too much, talking some shit, and Mike Evans was cooking him. Like he was cooking him belt to ass, and he
Oof.
cooked him so good. Bowles is basically like, well, that's all I need to see. Evans, you ain't gotta play. That's all I need. Like it's like this. Ramsey, if you're out there, we saw what Evans did to you in 2022. So I don't know why you thought it was going to be any different. But yeah, and again, Ramsey, you're done. You're cooked. You're not the same what you were 5 years ago. You're washed now. Welcome. It happens. You got your bag. But yes, overall, Louie, yes, this is a new feeling because I think everyone knows there's a lot on the line. Baker for a new contract is on the line. Some of these players on this roster know it's their last chance. The most important person on this team, Louie, that knows their legacy is in jeopardy. Not in jeopardy, but if they want to change the narrative, it's Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
This is your time where you can get out of the shadows of Arians and show I am a great coach rather than being a coach that should have been a coordinator. So you're right. The atmosphere is different. Everybody has a lot on the line.
It feels good, you know what I'm saying? Because like for a couple of years now, you know, we've gotten so close. And honestly, the team when Baker first came here, the team kind of overachieved. A lot of people say I didn't think so. Because I thought that the core nucleus of the team was still there, and I knew I wasn't excited when they signed Baker because of like the attitude stuff. But then seeing him now and him stiff arming like that one of the first plays, I forgot who it was from the Minnesota Vikings. He made him basically irrelevant. I was like, that's our guy. I ride with 6, you know, and he's been nothing but great for us. But this year, like I said, I was watching the preseason game, AJ. I had my fire pit going. I had the projector facing the house. I was lounging outside, and I seen the game start, and I was like excited, man. And then I see Abuka making a catch, and I seen McMillan making some catches, and I'm like, the future is bright here, man. And then I don't even want to see Mike. So just hearing the fact that Mike was cooking Ramsey, I get it's one-on-ones and stuff I get it. Doesn't mean anything, but to me, it means something. It means that this team's, they're freaking ready to play, you know, and a lot of people seem to think that the Buccaneers are not Super Bowl ready and they're not Super Bowl bound. I wouldn't say right now, but my expectations, I think you'll agree with me. I think this Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm expecting nothing less than an NFC Championship game appearance. And I think we're one of the best teams going into the season. The offense stood the same. The depth, I think, in my opinion, has gotten better. The infusion of youth on defense, I can't emphasize that enough. The infusion of youth on defense, Jacob Parrish balled out. He made a statement. So a lot of people are saying, Louie, well, relax. It's just a preseason. No, it's not just a preseason game to me. Guys like that, 4th-round picks like that with high expectations are supposed to take care of and put in belt to ass to those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string guys. That's their job. He dominated when he was supposed to. And another guy that I'm really excited about, because let's face facts, and we'll get into this in a little bit, but Chris Godwin, I don't think he's going to be ready to play. I'm just saying, I got some sources. I don't think he's going to be ready to play. To be honest with you, it's not looking good for Chris. I'm not saying he's not going to play, but I feel relieved because the key word, AJ, depth, McMillan, Abuka, not only those 2 guys and Mike, but you also seen greatness from Ryan Miller, a guy who's going to fly under the radar. He was making some pretty damn good catches in the week 1 of the preseason with Kyle Trask. And speaking of Kyle Trask, how you feeling about him as the backup? Me, I'm okay with it now. I've seen what I've seen. It's only 1 game, but I feel confident where, if knock on wood, if Baker was to get hurt and he had to come in for a game or 2, I would feel confident with him as the backup. What do you say?
You're right. You're 100% right. With what we have at depth, he doesn't have to do the most. He just has to do the basics. And with his frame, to be quite honest, him being a pocket with this line that we have, a pocket quarterback, is actually going to be beneficial for him. He's a tall guy, 6'5". He can see over the line, and he can deliver the deep passes to a Mike Evans or a Mecca or a McMillan. But you're right about this. For Chris Godwin, Buck fans, he's not coming back anytime soon, but we don't need that. We want Chris Godwin at the end of the season. If it's up to me, and I know for a fact that, okay, you're going to need another 2 months, so fucking be it, ladies and gentlemen. The Godwin that we saw the first 5 weeks, that's what you want to see in the last 5 weeks. Trust and believe. He'll be back this year. It won't be early, but we don't want that. The biggest thing, Buck fans, we don't want these players to rush. You saw what happened with Winfield. He came back too soon, and he wasn't the same the entire season. Let that shit. That's what depth is about. And for someone out there, Louie, someone out there on TikTok, shame on you. Tristan Wirfs is not out for the damn season. He's going to be out for 3 to 4 games tops. They're taking precaution. Or he's in trouble with the team. No shit, he's rehabbing. He doesn't need to. Wirfs will be fine.
You know how internet people get, man. They get too overconsumed with stuff without doing the research. But before we get any further, I want to get to the comments here because we got a loaded comment section. Zach Jarvis says, has Desmond Watson lost any more weight? I'm not 100% sure. I'm glad that you bring this up, Zach. I'm actually a little disappointed by this because I want to see him play. I want to see what he can do because Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, who will be joining us at 9 p.m. for Around the NFL. Me and him have talked about this countless of times. This kid, man, I'm telling you, you put him in on 3rd down and 4th down, on 4th and goal, 3rd and goals, those short yardage situations. Running backs ain't going to run up that gap. I'll tell you that much. Number one. Number two, you only need him for about 10 to 15 snaps tops. I do need to see more out of the defensive line. Somebody who I had on the show a few weeks ago was Devon J. Thomas, defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to see a little bit more out of him. I know he can give us some juice. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Desmond. I don't know if he lost any weight. I hope he does. I want to see him in there, AJ. What about you?
I want to see him in there, and this will be a message to Desmond. I want you to, first of all, I want you to be successful. I hope that you are taking this serious and you are doing everything in your might. Because the most important thing is there's so many other people out there who didn't get who didn't get the exposure as you, and they would do anything in their power to get on that field. There are people in their 30s or whatever who still hold on to this dream, Louis, but that would do things. So Desmond, I really hope that you're getting your shit together and you're making an impact. Because I'm gonna tell you this, Desmond, the average salary out here for a single person in America is like maybe $60,000, my man. And the way that prices are out here nowadays, you can't even survive off that shit. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. That's the biggest thing, Louis. I'll be telling all these NFL players when they be bitching about stuff, the money you're making now, be blessed. And people like me and Louis, we got to go to work. We can't tell our bosses, well, I'm this valuable. No. You know what they're gonna say? You're fired. Try to live off a check where you only get $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. You get 2 paychecks at the end of the week. That's a good one. I like that, AJ.
So
that was a good one.
Desmond, get it together.
Virgin Boys. Did I say Virgin Boys? Yes, Virgin Boys. Jalen McMillan is going super under the radar in training camp. I think he will have 10+ touchdowns this season. I agree that's a good possibility. Like I said, the key word is, the key thing for me, AJ, is everybody's got to stay healthy and everybody's got to realize there's only one ball to go around. And if this team can contribute, everybody contributes. And I hate using the Patriots cliche, but it's the real thing. Just do your job. Forget about stats. Just do your job. I promise you, if you do your job, everybody will get the stats. The ball, like it's about, like Brady used to say, it's about Super Bowls, not Pro Bowls, none of that stuff. It's about Super Bowls. Do you see Jalen McMillan getting 10 touchdowns or over under?
Virgin Boy, I'm gonna say under, but it ain't gonna be much. I'd say he's gonna get between.
He's giving you some love there, AJ. Turn up. He's giving you some love.
Virgin Boy. So I say 7 to 8. I think Abuka is going to overshine. Here's why. He's more versatile. He's Godwin-esque. The man he can run the dig, he can run the out, he can run the curl. And I think his hands are stronger and his body type is Chris Godwin, so he's going to be able to take it. But you just said it, though. You said it, Louis. They're going to give that ball around, but the most important person that Baker is going to want to feed is Mike Evans. I'm predicting this right now, Louis. He's going to have a 1,300-yard season, but he's going to have 15+ touchdowns. Why? Baker loves Evans, and he is going to make sure that they don't have to go to week fucking 17 in order to get those 1,000 yards. I say by week 13, Mike Evans is going to break that record. So you're right. This is the year, I think, Louis, that Baker's going to have an MVP. He's going to be MVP conversation. Why? I see him having between 46 to 5,000 passing yards and 45 touchdowns, because Josh Grizzard is a passing offensive coordinator. He doesn't run like Liam. The run will be there, but he's going to use the pass to set up the run. And if there's a 3-yard goal line and Mike Evans has one man coverage, Baker's gonna throw that shit to him. So, McMillan's the entire receiving core is gonna have some touchdowns, Louis. But I'm saying Evans is gonna have 15. He's gonna put that bullshit that everybody talking about to rest about. Mike Evans ain't Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think this team's definitely gonna ball out. In my opinion, like I said, the wide receiving core is deep. The running back room is even deeper. With Owens emerging. Let's go to Fear the Bay. What's going on, man? Daniel Morales. I love that kid, man. He comes on the show. A lot of good insight with that kid. So if you guys haven't, make sure you follow him on Twitter. Follow his YouTube page, Fear the Bay. I was down on Trask after seeing him in training camp, but when the lights came on, he showed out. Want to see more, though. I agree. The first performance was good. I liked the first performance. I liked it a lot. But I need to see what's one thing I always used to say, AJ, consistency. We need consistency and efficiency from this guy. And who knows? Like I said, this is a good opportunity, a good showcase for him to really do some damage in the preseason and look untouchable, because you never know. They just signed Teddy Bridgewater. Here's a theory. They just signed Teddy Bridgewater. He's a valuable backup as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, if Kyle Trask balls out, oh, here we go. So I live in Massachusetts, and we just got some serious wind over here. Yeah, I might have to take this inside for a second. But what I was saying was Kyle Trask has the opportunity to be a starter somewhere this season. If somebody goes down and he balls out in the preseason, shows like if he continues to string up performances that he's stringing up, man, I'm telling you right now, there could be some callers if a quarterback goes down, and that's some draft capital for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, just saying,
you want to know?
It's a theory.
Absolutely. If I'm the Bucs, if the Saints might come calling, this is what they do. Hey, look, give us a first or a second. We're not taking nothing less.
The Saints will never do that, man. Too much pride.
Well, you don't know that. They are desperate. They need a quarterback. Ratliff is gone. I think they need. Who the fuck they got? He's gone. Yeah. So don't be too sure, my brother. And look, they might fuck around and be like, hey, we'll get you a second. Take it or leave it. And they're desperate. They're going to need it. But I hear what you're saying. Trask, though, he's going to be fine, guys. Again, he just unfortunately got drafted at one of the most awkward times in Bucs history. Brady was there. He was never going to go past Brady. Then Baker outplayed him. Sometimes that just happens. But, hey, you know what? He's collecting checks. So, that's right. Trask, shout out to you. Go Gators. But you're collecting them Buccaneer checks. Do your thing. Talk your shit, bro. Be like,
that's
I'm collecting checks.
Ben Cornett, even if Desmond Watson doesn't make the team, hopefully he can get healthy, if anything, just for himself. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to see Desmond. Yeah. I'd love to see Desmond step on the field for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but who knows at this point? I mean, you got to keep working. I mean, but then again, this is something he should have been doing throughout the offseason. Oh, we got a little bit of thunder in the area. That's not good.
Bullshit.
Ben Cornell. Yeah, I'm nervous because it's an expensive laptop that I just got. Buccaneer, Ben Cornett, Jacob Parrish played well in his first NFL game. 2 pass breakups. I think it was 3 pass breakups, I believe. Yeah, he could be a steal in this draft.
You're right.
Yeah,
Ben, you're right. He is going to be a steal because the guy, and then Bowles is going to utilize him the right way. He can use him for blitzing. He can use him for dropping coverage. And with the addition of Hassan Reddick now, teams can't tee off on us like they normally do, and we got depth. And then I think Kansas going to have a breakout season with 13-plus sacks. But you're right, Ben. Jacob Parrish could be the steal of the draft. I'm with that.
Yeah. And Benjamin Morrison. We have yet to see Benjamin Morrison as well. So I'm excited, man. I'm very excited. Fear the Bay. Yep, consistency is needed for Trask. Could agree more, Louie. Keep up the great work. Hey, Daniel, thank you. Appreciate you a lot, man. Like I said, he'll be on the show this Tuesday, I believe, to talk about the Buccaneers preseason game. Before I get you out of here, AJ, because I know your time is valuable, and I know you got something else going on after this. what do you want to see? Who needs to step up from week 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look right into the camera. Broswell, get your shit together. Broswell, you were a ghost. Louie just talked about Jacob Parrish dominating against the backups and some of the second string. He did what he needed to do. Jacob, Broswell, you are a second round from Alabama. I need you to tighten up, man. You had a really bad game and your coverage looked bad. So, Broswell, I need you to be that guy. I have faith in you. You have the tools, you have the tangibles, you have the speed. You just got to slow it down, and angles go to where he's going, not where he is. So Broswell is the guy that I'm gonna be looking at, Louis. I really hope that he takes advantage of the backups in Pittsburgh. Please, Broswell, you have the tools. Just get it done.
I hear you. For me, it's Shiloh. I want to see a little bit more from Shiloh. He had a pretty decent play with the blitz there, and I know Todd loves the blitz. But he's got to show a little bit more. He looked out of position a few times. But yeah, that's a guy that I'm going to look out for to watch. AJ, let everybody know where they can find you and what you got going on, because I know you've been battling on you've been checking people on the TikTok. So
guys,
pretty interesting.
That's where I'm gonna be at. TikTok, AJ Turnup. That's where you can find me. I'm gonna go live. I like to talk football. I'm a fan of football first, then the Bucs. But unfortunately, if you're gonna talk to me, I'm just gonna say this: you can enjoy football without knowing it, but what you can't do is try to discuss football without knowing it. There's a difference. And then also Bucs Report the Aftermath. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. So, Louie, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
I'll bring you on. It's about Bucking Time. That's my YouTube channel as well. Bring you on sometime too, my man. You take care of yourself, bro.
You
Go
too,
Bucs.
brother. I appreciate you coming on. Go Bucs.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Peace. That is AJ Turnup of About Bucking Time. Make sure you go follow him on YouTube. He's got some good content, man. He's like a battle rapper for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And when I say battle rapper, like he's battling fans of opposing teams. And he talks his shit, man. He's not afraid to talk his shit. And he brings the facts. That's why I said you got to bring your facts when you debate with AJ. Always a pleasure to talk to him. Like I said, can't say enough about him. Guys, week 2 of the preseason is upon us. I want to know in the comments, what are you guys looking out for? I know you guys can probably see me looking up. I'm just looking at the clouds. I'm seeing some lightning. So if the audio gets disconnected, that's me running inside with my laptop to get out of the rain. They didn't say nothing about rain, but I do see some lightning. So hopefully no. It's a nice night too. It's too bad. It's a really nice night out here in Massachusetts, and unfortunately, it looks like it's going to rain. As we wait for our next guest, Jay Retcher, make sure you guys stay tuned. And if you guys haven't, make sure you have liked and subscribed to the YouTube channel. I know I keep saying it, but yes, we are doing a free jersey giveaway. That is something that I am emphasizing about. It's still early. Like I said, before the preseason is over, we will be giving away a free jersey. You got my word on that. Like I said, I want to know right now in the comments how you guys are feeling about the season. What's your outlook for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year? And yes, you guys can see me. I'm looking at the sky right now. I do.
My guy, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, wait. There we go. Now we're cooking.
There it is. Yeah, we're starting to get some crazy weather out here. I just gave you an introduction. Nobody heard it.
It's okay.
What's going on, Jay? How you feeling?
I'm doing much better, buddy. Thank you. I was actually under the weather for about a week, and then I had some stuff wrong with my ankle the last 2 days, and today I'm actually feeling a little better. So I'm glad to be here with you. Sorry we couldn't have done this sooner, man. My Summer's crazy, and you caught me right before my crazy fall/winter. So I'm glad to be here with you and ready to talk some Bucs.
Yeah, man. So, how are you feeling about week 1 of the preseason? Like I said, it is the preseason, but I do tell Buck fans, I emphasize this a lot, Jay. I say, listen, if you want to find out about the team, you have to look at the depth, because when guys go down, you want to know who's going to step up. And this is a good chance to really find out the second and third string guys. As we saw last year, Jay, a lot of guys went down. We didn't have the depth. What really stood out to you for week 1 of the preseason? What are you really excited about?
Well, a couple of things. I mean, my expectations and my excitement is definitely tempered because it is the regular season, as my buddy Ian Beckles tells me all the time. He's like, you can't go too crazy about preseason game number 1. I go, I know, Ian, but it's the first time we get to see the team on the field, so we get a little excited. But yeah, man, I mean, to me, I look at Kyle Trask, and I'm just impressed, like, as an individual, right? I don't expect Kyle Trask to be like a big time member of this team, because if Baker goes down, they're going to be in trouble. But just the fact that the guy responded to Teddy Bridgewater being signed, he was fantastic in week 1, 12 of 16. And he's been really good in practice since then, since they brought Teddy on. So good to see him respond to that type of adversity. The running back room, right? When Rachaad White goes down, you see Owen Wright step up. I mean, half the people that cheer for the Bucs, even the diehard fans, didn't even know who Owen Wright was. And he goes in there and he's like a jackrabbit, man. He should have had 3 touchdowns in that game. But yeah, I mean, you look at JJ Roberts. I thought he did a good job as well. I just, with this team, you're right. It's all about depth. And that's the difference between the good teams and the great teams. And the margins are very fine. And, when guys go down, I mean, just remember watching some of these games last year, and when the injuries happen and Servassier's down and Jordan Whitehead's out, or Antoine Winfield Jr. is on 100%, Jamel Dean goes out, and it's just like you got a bunch of guys that are really your special teamers. They're not even your secondary guys. Like, they're not even their second string. They really are your special teams aces, and it's tough to put that on them. I mean, this year they're going to be able to weather that storm so much better because of the depth. So very excited to see. I'm very bullish on this team this year. I think they're going to have a hell of a season. I feel like I have a unique perspective because I'm not, you're tried and true, like grew up a Bucs fan, like, I've been here now 20 years, but I feel like I'm still objective to the point of if they're not good enough, I'm going to tell you they're not good enough. And I say that about the Lightning, I say it about the Rays, and I sure as hell say it about the Buccaneers. But just watching this team, being around this team, why not them, man? I'm telling you, why not them? Especially in the NFC. The AFC is a bull, a bear with all the great quarterbacks that they have there. But it's so difficult to repeat, right? So Philadelphia, there's probably going to be some regression there. Detroit loses both their coordinators. They lose their center, Frank Ragnow. And then the Rams, I love teams like the Rams. I love teams like the Rams because when you have a quarterback and a head coach that have won a Super Bowl, to me, you have a chance every single year. It's like I call it the Eli Manning, Tom Coughlin corollary. They could look like crap 3 years in a row, but that 4th year, they may go all the way. You just don't know. Like, they have the experience, and all you got to do is turn it on for a couple of weeks if you make the playoffs, and then you'll be the last team standing. So I like it. I like the pedigree of this team. I like the veterans of this team, and as evidenced by what we heard from practice day up in Pittsburgh, Mike Evans is still balling out, and he won't be playing Saturday night. He don't need to play, but I really like, Louie, what I see with this team.
Yeah, I agree. Like, guys like Mike, Rashad, and all these Bucky and all these guys, I don't want to see these guys in the preseason. Maybe like the last game of the preseason just to kind of get them going a little bit. Right now, I want to see all the younger guys, the infusion of youth on this team, get all the reps because we're going to need it because it's a long, long season. And if a guy goes down, it affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? We saw it last year with the defense. I feel like if we had our starters in there, Jay, I feel like this team would have went a lot farther in the playoffs. My expectations this year is like last year, the NFC Championship game. That's my expectations. I mean, I'm predicting. I have a couple of bold predictions. I'm saying Buccaneers and Ravens in the Super Bowl. Nice. That's my prediction. I think it's gonna be the Ravens because you can't. Lamar Jackson's gonna get one. He has to. That team is, and they loaded up in the draft. Who they drafted, the defense is loaded. The offense is really good. But with the Buccaneers, I mean, like you said, Jay, why not us? Like, if you look what they did in the draft, they addressed so many key positions, and not only that, Hassan Reddick kind of gives me, I'm not saying he's Simeon Rice, but it kind of gives me those Simeon Rice vibes when we brought him in as a free agent. This defense looks very good, not just in the preseason, but all around. There's a good chemistry it seems to be with this defense. And not only that, you look at the offense, Jay. The offense, that same core nucleus of guys are there. We understand Chris Godwin may not be available maybe late into the season, from my understanding. But you look at the preseason, week 1, Ryan Miller making catches down the middle. That's key, in my opinion. You see Emeka Egbuka making some good catches. Jalen McMillan, who a lot of people, like we were just talking about early on in the show, a lot of people not really talking about Jalen McMillan. You see a young core nucleus of those two guys, those two receivers, and then you bring in the elite Mike Evans into the mix. And nobody's really talking about the tight end room with Culp and K-Dot, and who's in a contract here. And this 3, or dare I say, 4-headed monster of running backs. You know what I'm saying? They look good, man. And like you said, Jay, why not us? Why not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I'm predicting 13-4, but I kind of altered that prediction a little bit because I think week 1 is a must-win game with the Atlanta Falcons. We cannot fall behind in this division. Like Todd said, we have to win games early on in the division because we can't keep playing catch-up. Like last year, we can't do that. We can't get away with doing that anymore because I think Carolina's getting a lot better. It's not a secret anymore. They competed with a lot of good teams last year. The Atlanta Falcons, I don't really know what to make of them yet. They can't even get Michael Penix's name right. I don't know if you saw that earlier today. I feel bad for him, but there's really not a lot of tape on him, so I don't really know what the Atlanta Falcons are going to look like, but I don't think they're going to be bad. And then you have the New Orleans Saints, but still, Jay, the division games are so difficult to win. I don't care how bad your division is. You take a look at all those years at the New England Patriots in Foxborough. They had so much success, but that one team was the Jets and the Dolphins. Mostly the Dolphins that would get them. You know, those upset games, and they can really derail your season. But overall, I really love what I seen week 1 of the preseason. Jacob Parrish looked very good. We haven't seen Benjamin Morrison yet. I'm very excited to see him. I want to see more out of Shiloh Sanders. He had a really good play when he blitzed. Todd loves doing that with the corners and safeties, but he's got to do more, in my opinion. But I really liked the way the defensive backs played. I need to see more from the defensive line, though. I want to see sacks because sacks are a key component into field position for me, you know, and you give this offense good field position, nobody's beating them. You give this offense a short field, nobody's beating this team. Because like I said, Baker Mayfield, I feel like is going to have a really big season this year. I'm not saying, you know, with passing yards. I don't know if he'll get the 4,500 passing yards because I think they're going to be a run-heavy team. I really do. Rashad White's in his contract. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I don't know if he's going to be here next year. I mean, he can start for, I think, 17 or 18 different teams, in my opinion. And then you have Bucky Irvin. You have Sean Tucker, who we've really yet to see, but we know what he's about. And then the tight ends, I just really like the way this team's going as far as depth and personnel. But I got to ask you, for week 2, what is some key position battles to watch for you in week 2? What do you want to see?
As we're getting closer to the kick on and that game up in Pittsburgh, I just saw on Twitter that Baker Mayfield will not be playing up there in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. Todd Bowles seemingly has seen enough. So no Levante David, no Mike Evans, and no Levante David. So I don't necessarily know if we need to worry about those position battles as it goes. I mean, to me, man, this team, like, I don't really I don't know if there's a position battle to be won, right? Like, I can tell you the starters pretty much everywhere on this team. Like, it's all like the depth spot. It's the back end of the 53. I mean, you know who your starting 5 are going to be on the offensive line. Charlie Heck's going to be in there for Tristan Wirfs. Your tight end is going to be K-Dot. Listen, he's been out. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury, but just watching Payne Durham, better blocker than we thought originally. Devin Culp is a factor in the passing game, but nobody can do it all like K-Dot. He's the starter. Yeah. He's that guy. Running back, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be Bucky, Rashad, and Sean, right? Wide receiver, it's Chris, Chris when he comes back, Mike, Jalen, and Egbuka. Those are the top 3. And then Tez Johnson is definitely making this roster. No doubt about it in my mind. The 7th-round pick. They already have gadget plays for him in the offense. So he's going to make the roster. He's going to be one of your returners. So with Godwin, that's 5 guys. Now you're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9. So is it, Miller, Garrett Green, Trey Palmer, Sterling Shepard? Like, that's the position battle out of all of them, right? That's on the offensive side of the ball. defensively, on your first couple of downs, running downs, Logan Hall's going to be in there with Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey, Yaya on one side, and Hassan Reddick on the other side. Good luck not crapping your pants if you're an offensive line looking at those 5 guys walk. They walked up the other day in practice. I go, I can't be confident if I'm an offense looking up at those 5 guys unless I'm Philly. Philly and maybe Baltimore are the only 2 teams that they'll look at those 5 guys like, here we go, buckle up the chin straps. Nobody else is going to be like, oh, man, we're going to win that battle. Linebacker position, Levante, Servassier, those are going to be your 2 guys, no matter what. And then the secondary, you're going to start with Dean. You're going to start with McCollum. That's just the way it goes. And then Parrish is going to be your nickel guy with Tyke Smith and Antoine Winfield Jr. Those are your starters. No doubt about it. And there's going to be other guys that are going to get in there. Benjamin Morrison's going to work his way in there. You're going to see Christian Izzian on the field all over the place. And then we know who our kicker and punter and stopper is. So Louie, there's no real position battles. Like it's really, I mean, I just listed about 27 guys, right? 28 guys.
Right.
Just off the top of my head, those are your starters. And
we're pretty much set.
I don't know how many teams in the NFL are really like that, which is a great thing. But that's why, and I said this before and I'll say it again, when there's a certain calmness and there's a certain ease with your team, don't be so quick to change it. And when everybody was like, oh man, I'm so worried about losing Liam Cohen, we got to get rid of him and get rid, we got to keep him and get rid of Todd Bowles. I'm like, guys, don't be so quick to do things like that. Like Todd's a much better coach than people are giving him credit for. He's gotten better. He's learned from his mistakes. He's delegating more. He's bringing in more people. He's not as stubborn as some people I think lead on. And, you got to understand there's a easiness with this team because everybody knows what their role is right now. Right? Everybody knows there's nobody talking shit in the background. Like, this guy, that guy. Listen, and you brought up this point a little while ago. The Buccaneers went on 2 losing streaks the last 2 seasons in the middle of the season, right? Last year's obviously coincided with the injuries, right? But you look at those schedules, like we kind of knew that was the rough part of the schedule. We knew that going into the season. We were like, this is where the swoon is going to happen. And it happened twice. And they also came out of it twice. But Louie, being in that locker room, both years, you know what I didn't hear from one person? And I'm talking not one trainer, not one media member, not one player, or not one coach. It's this guy's fault or it's that guy's fault. It's I've seen teams win games and point fingers and be pissed off and have guys leave the locker room early. This team was on a losing streak in the middle of the season. Both years didn't do that. Why? Because of the leadership, because of Light and Bowles and Evans and David and Baker and everybody. Don't take that for granted, man. That shit's really, really important. And that's why I have a lot of faith in this team going forward. And, when you have less questions, man, there's no excuse. Let's get ready to roll.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, this locker room, I will say this is probably one of the best locker rooms I've seen. It's very family oriented in this locker room, and everybody takes accountability for their own actions. If somebody messes up, they mess up. I got to ask you, and I'm going to put you on full screen because I got to take this party inside because it's starting to rain. But I got to ask you, I'm going to ask you a question. What was your thoughts on Jason Licht's comments about Devin White? Because we all kind of figured, and to me, I'll respond after you say what you have to say, and you can take your time with this one. But I was disappointed with Devin White. I'm not going to lie. I was very high on him when we first drafted him. I understand why they drafted him because we were dealing with 2 guys in our division, Christian McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara, and we needed a linebacker that was quick that could stop him. And I predicted this kid to have a fantastic career. I thought there's always a passing of the torch with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We had Derek Brooks, from Derek Brooks to Levante David, and from Levante David, it was supposed to be Devin White, and then smugness and arrogance kind of came into play. Do you think Jason Licht was wrong for making this public, or me personally, I love the fact that he did it. Because he's a no-nonsense guy, and I love that. And it has to be said, sometimes certain people have to be humbled because I feel like with Devin White, after they won the Super Bowl, I feel like, how can I put this lightly? The Twitter fingers got him in trouble.
Right.
The arrogance. Right. The arrogance and not being humble. And it just, guys, to the younger audience that's watching this, that plays football, this is the exact opposite of what you want to be like. Because now look, you look ridiculous. And now you burnt your bridges with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, especially with things that he was saying. I think, what was it? The Pilot podcast with, I forgot who was on there, but he was saying, hey, I'm not going to talk bad about them because I may need them for a contract one day. That right there was a nail in the coffin for me. And I had high hopes for him, Jay. I said, he has Ray Lewis potential with his speed, his tackling ability. Like, he could be one of the greats. He could be a top 10 linebacker of all time. Just chose not to be. But what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I looked at this whole thing and I was thinking to myself, you don't see this many times from general managers because they're going to be transparent to a point, right? They're not going to be as open and as honest as we heard Jason Licht in that article by Dan Pompei by The Athletic, talking about Deshaun Jackson. If I would have done it again, this version of Jason Licht wouldn't have brought him in. Talking about Vernon Hargreaves and some of the other guys that he's brought in over the years. And Devin White was the big guy that I think stood out amongst the rest when it came to that article. And I've actually watched, I've gone back and watched some of the tape from Devin White that rookie season. Was there anything that we missed following this Buccaneers team? I don't know if there was really any signs. Like, he was balling. He was balling those first couple of seasons. And you're like, he had some mistakes, but you're thinking young linebacker, he over pursues a little bit. He'll fix it, right? That's just, you want a guy to be maybe a little bit too aggressive than not aggressive enough. You don't want to try to have to bring that dog out of him. And then you look at what he was able to do in the Super Bowl with Levante David and shutting down, Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City offense. I'm always a fan of taking the high road and biting your tongue and but I think certain times you kind of just, you got to be on, like, you earn the right to say what you got to say. And if it's honest and you're not like hurting anybody, right? He's hurting himself. Like Devin White with his actions, he's hurt himself. So what Jason Licht has said in this instance, I don't know if it's necessarily hurting Devin White anymore. I mean, he's on his third team since then. But we saw it. Like, we saw the lack of effort. We heard Warren Sapp call him out in that game, that primetime game against the Baltimore Ravens. And, he did go on that Pivot podcast, and you just listen to him talk, and you're like, dude, you just don't get it. You don't get it. And we know, living here in the Tampa Bay area, you win a championship here, man, you're never going to pay for a meal again. Just don't screw it up. Just don't screw it up. And whatever you do when you come back here in Tampa, regardless of what team you're on, like, people are going to treat you like $1 million. Look at all the guys that have won the Stanley Cup for the Tampa Bay Lightning, even guys that weren't even big parts of it. It's one thing if we're talking about Marty St. Louis and Vinny LeCavalier and Brad Richards. Those guys come back to Tampa, they're walking on water. But even some of the guys like Jason Cullimore and some of the guys that were second or third line defensemen, like, people still love those guys. Think about the 2002 Bucs, right? Yeah, as much as we talk about, all the big name guys, but there's also linebackers and defensive linemen and guys that maybe didn't play as much, but you look back at such reverence and you look at those guys and you go, those guys will be Buccaneers for life. And we love them because they were able to bring the first Super Bowl to this city. Devin White screwed that up so bad. Like, dude, you could have been loved. And if it didn't work out, it didn't work out. Like, you don't get to that second contract because, your skills deteriorated. That kind of thing happens, right? It's the way it goes, right?
Go around the house.
But not like that. Not like that. The way Devin White went about his business down the stretch. And like you said, oh, yeah, well, I might want to get a contract from these guys. That's not the way it goes, man. That's not the way it goes. So for Jason Licht to be that transparent and that honest, I in the end, I ended up liking it a lot. And I really enjoy how he's changed. That's the big thing, man, when it comes to sports, is you have to keep an open mind because the game is constantly evolving. It doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. It's changing. It's evolving. You need to adapt or die. And you see some horrible crash and burns like we've seen up in New England with Bill Belichick. The same thing he wanted to do over and over and over again. And what happened? It wore on people. It wore on Tom Brady. You think Tom ever wanted to leave New England? He didn't want to leave New England, but It was wearing on him. There was no adjustment from Bill, and it was just the same thing over and over and over and over again. And then Tom leaves, and Bill's like, all right, well, I'll just, copy and paste, and it didn't work, and he wore out his welcome, and then now he's gone, right? So now he's like, I got to change. So that's where I look at with Jason Licht and Todd Bowles and a lot of guys that are successful in their 50s and 60s and 70s in sports. You got to adapt, man. You got to get better. I'm going to look it up right now. How old do we think Andy Reid is? He's no spring chicken, brother.
No, no.
He was born in 1958, bro. He was born in 1958. My guy Andy Reid is a year younger than my dad. He's 67 years old. Who is adapting more than Andy Reid? This dude does crazy ass plays where the guys do merry-go-rounds and right. He's one of the oldest guys in the league. So, shout out to Jason Licht for understanding. Hey, the way I was going about analyzing talent and trying to bring people in here and trying to build a winner was not working. Tom told me and showed me I need to bring in people that we can trust. And then you go from there and look at what he's been able to do in free agency and in the draft in the last 3 or 4 years, home run after home run after home run. And then you look at this draft class and this free agent class again. I mean, Hassan Reddick, early returns look damn good. And you look at the class with Emeka, Buka, and Benjamin Morrison and Parrish and Tez Johnson. And I mean, I love the kid Roberts out of SMU. Damn, man, screw up a pick once in a while. You're making all the other GMs look bad. My hat goes off to Jason Licht. I love the adaptation that he's made in the last couple of years. He's one of the best GMs. Forget about the NFL. He's one of the best GMs in all of sports now. Absolutely.
I feel like, Jay, he doesn't get enough credit.
He doesn't.
One of the best GMs. He does. And he's been, and I'm a big fan of this. I keep saying efficiency and consistency, and he's brought all of that to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Speaking of adapting, while you were saying all that, I don't know if you saw, I had to run inside, grab all my audio equipment, drag it in. My poor son, 7 years old, dragging all my stuff in. It just starts pouring out over here. We've been getting some freak storms out here, massive flooding. It's been insane. But yeah, I agree with you 110%. I don't blame Jason Licht for saying what he said. I mean, we've heard him say this before, Jay. We usually take the assholes off the board.
Right.
Knowing what I know now, I probably would have took him off the board. And I keep telling this to people, Devin White used to be one hell of a talent, and he could have been one hell of a talent. I don't know what he's going to do with the Raiders. I mean, God bless him. I hope he finds whatever it is that he finds. But the arrogance and the attitude way, way back many moons ago when I first started podcasting, I said it. I said Devin White was one of my favorite draft picks, but I have this funny feeling he's going to crash and burn because arrogance, not being humble. And we started seeing him miss tackles, tackles that Devin White in his rookie season and his second season would have made. And we started seeing that, and I was just here we go. And I told my co-host Jay, I'm here's a drop-off. And then we started seeing the contract talks. I want to get Roquan money. Brother, you got to play out your rookie contract, man. It's
exactly.
Wow. And he just, now you see him bouncing around team to team. It's just, it's hard to watch. It's very, very hard to watch, Jay. But I hope the best for him. I seen him get completely annihilated in training camp for the Raiders. I don't know if you saw that clip. Have the mighty have fallen. But then again, this is arrogance. This is not being humble and just not counting your blessings, man. You were on top of the world. And like you were saying, you could have been a Tampa legend. You could have been, you wouldn't have to eat. I mean, you wouldn't have to pay anywhere, man.
Yeah, and man.
About I don't know how anybody else feels, but it's pretty expensive to go out to eat, man. You get a couple of entrees and an appetizer, a few drinks. Your bill starts from, hey, $20 for that. That's not too bad. And next thing you know, you get your check. I mean, your bill, and it's $152, and that's without tip.
The bill goes from 20 to 100 real quick. You're right.
Oh yeah, man. All right, Jay. I know your time is valuable. We got Around the NFL coming up at 9 o'clock hour. We have Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports joining us, as well as Jamie, who is no longer a depressed Bears fan. Real quickly, I'm going to get him in. I want to get your thoughts because I used to call him the depressed Bears fan. I'm going to get him in here. Jamie, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? How are you?
What's up, buddy?
All right, Jay.
Louie, first of all, do you like my new profile picture? I changed it on your request.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. He had this weird looking picture of Caleb Williams because Jamie is a Chicago Bears fan, a long diehard Bears fan. But Jay, I got to get a response from you for this. What is your take before you get off here? What is your take on the Chicago Bears this season?
Man, I tell you what, some of the things that I just heard recently on Caleb Williams was not great. About the way he's able to process information, but I don't believe much of that hype because I've just seen a lot of misinformation about the Buccaneers here in the last couple of days. So I'm still in that wait and see approach. They're giving him every opportunity to be successful. And I think when you bring in a guy like Ben Johnson, this guy, and if you've watched the Netflix special with the quarterback special with what he's been able to do with Jared Goff and how unpredictable that he can be, you get a guy with the skill set of Caleb Williams. I mean, he's got it. That's got to be the main reason that he goes to Chicago, right? Knowing that he's got a guy with all the talent in the world. He saw what he was able to do in college. Now it's going to come down to the maturity level, right? He's got the weapons, right? They invested a ton in the offensive line and on the defense. It's a tough division. I think that's the hard thing. He's not going to ease into anything in the NFC North. So one thing that I look at especially with young quarterbacks is just slow progression, man. Just get a little bit better every year. Sometimes, and you saw that with CJ Stroud with Houston, sometimes you have a great first year and then you take a step back in year two. That's something to be cognizant of when you look at Jaden Daniels, right? Jaden Daniels burst onto the scene. He crushed it for Washington. All right, well, now the tape's out. Let's see how everybody adjusts in year two. He's a guy that really can't ease into anything because you're playing the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers, and those are three of the better teams in the NFC. So I think it sucks for the Bears fans out there because you kind of want to get a really good gauge of, all right, where's the progress when it comes to Caleb Williams? But it's going to be very difficult because your division is so good. So I hope the kid does well. I don't like when guys get drafted that high and then they're in the bust conversation. I want to see guys be able to live up to that draft status. And I got a bunch of friends that are Bears fans, long suffering as well too. I just hope he's the answer for them and is good. It's just maturity level. I don't care about the crying in college and the fingernail paint polish. I don't give a shit what he does, man. Go out there and be accurate with the football and be good at your decision-making. Those are the two things. That's the big thing. Yep. Accuracy and decision-making. If he can not turn the football over and make sure that he hits his open passers and just keep his head on straight, man, sky's the limit for Chicago because I think when you look at those quarterbacks, I think he's got the highest ceiling out of all of those guys, right? Obviously, he's the number one overall pick. And if he can really take a huge step forward here in 2025, hand the football off, utilize everybody. I mean, you got two monster tight ends. I mean, why not for the Bears? I'd be excited if I was a Bears fan. I wouldn't say that they're going to win the division or even that they're a playoff team, but man, if you're inching up and you're getting closer and you're like an 8 or a 9-win team and you're knocking at the door like we saw with Detroit 2 or 3 years ago, I'd be happy. That's what I want to see if I'm a Bears fan. Show me progress this year and not just a little bit, like take a step forward so that when 2026 comes around this year and you have another draft class to build around this kid, then you're like, all right, we're here. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Let me real quickly point out that last year he threw for over 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions with one of the worst O-lines.
Right.
And this is someone who's been a Bears fan since the 80s. Mm-hmm. One of the worst O-lines I've ever seen. I mean, Louie seen, we played on the cast last year. There was, I can't remember who we were playing against, but there was a play where 3 defensive linemen had beaten all 5 offensive linemen in under 1.5 seconds. Save money and don't even put guys out there at that point, mm-hmm. right? And so I agree. He needs to take a step forward. However, I think part of it is how well Jaden did last year, that he got sort of swept underneath. Part of it is how horrifying our coaching was. Just we won't even go into the litany of mistakes. But I also think you're right. I think we've got the right coach there. I think he's got to show something this year because the excuses are mostly gone, right? Last year, we did something we've never done before. We gave a rookie quarterback an actual wide receiver core, mm-hmm. but we forgot to get anyone out there to protect him. This year, we went out, we added Pro Bowlers, we splashed a ton of money. What's that?
You paid for an offensive line, bud.
Yeah. I mean, while you guys were chatting earlier, I was watching Joe Tooney line up as an eligible receiver in practice and catch the ball and juke a defender. I was
you don't want that, buddy. You don't want that. Last thing you want is Joe Tooney out there twisting an ankle and freaking 11 on 11s, right?
Well, this was not a contact play.
I know. I'm just messing with you. But like you think about it too when you're talking about this team, right? And you look at some of the players that they have and what they've been able to invest offensively and defensively. The offensive line, sometimes we look at it and we go, all right, well, we bring guys in. You trade for guys, and then the guys don't perform up to expectations, right? I think a lot of it has to do with coaching too. How can a guy like Mekhi Becton from the Jets, who can't do a damn thing, right? He can't do anything with the Jets. Left side of the line, right side of the line. The Eagles bring him in at tackle, and he looks like freaking Jason Peters. Like, it's the coaching has to take that step forward. So as much as we always talk about personnel and talking about, it's easy to kind of judge, all right, this team's going to get better because you drafted this guy or you signed this guy. Like, inherently, the coaches need to take a step forward. So if the Bears are going to get better, they need those guys that are going to work with the Joe Thuney's and Rod and every of those guys on the offensive line. They have to step up their game because, it's a very tough division.
Well, this is something Louie and I talked about a couple weeks ago, but we've been talking about it on the show for years, that with offensive lines, the secret is not a secret. It's just games together and cohesion, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, coaching is very important. Schemes are very important, but the longer an O-line plays together, especially without injuries, which obviously is more of a roll of the dice kind of thing, the more you're going to get. And I asked Leo a few weeks ago what he thought for veteran offensive linemen. When you've got a few Pro Bowlers, you got a few guys that have played together, and he said 4 to 5 weeks is when you'll start at 4 to 5 active game weeks, not preseason, not practice, is when you're going to see them really start to, a good O-line. The guys are borderline psychic, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody knows who's chipping off who's going to make a last minute adjustment, who's going to spot the blitzer, not spot the blitzer, take the double team, etc. So I agree with you. I think it's going to be interesting to see how well coached they are, especially with, we have almost no coaches returning at any position at all.
That's probably not a bad thing for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully this year our offensive coordinator isn't getting raided by the FBI in like week 4.
You never know, man. This is the kind of stuff we see every day in all professional sports. It's like, oh, this guy's betting. This guy's got pictures. This guy's got drugs. This guy's here. We don't know what the hell's going on.
And Louie, I got a ton of that stuff for you tonight, but real quick, because I know Jay's can't stick around for too long, I believe. Did you see what Jason Peters said in his autobiography about Lou Holtz?
I did not.
I just saw someone post an excerpt from it. I did not realize that I will not repeat on air what he said about Holtz. Some really creative cuss words, called him a snake, MFer, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize, apparently Peter's brother had played for him in college and had a horrifying injury. And Holtz never once checked on him while he was in the hospital, while he was a player on his team, was a starter. And but he was getting calls from guys that had tried to recruit him. Now, this is back in the day when you couldn't, it's not like they were going to get him as a transfer or anything, right? And so he's got guys who basically just, hey, I got to know your family. I saw you got this really bad injury. You want to, and Peters has held this grudge forever and put it out in his autobiography, just slamming him. Lou, I'll see if I can find you the excerpt. It's pretty brutal. It's 2 pages of just destruction.
Wow. 2 pages?
2 pages.
Wow. Okay. I might have to check that out.
That's why you're the only Lou we can trust, buddy.
Yeah. I might have to check that out. All right, Jay, I know you got to run, man. What do you got going on? And let everybody know where they can catch you.
Yeah, follow me on all social media platforms at JRetcher, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Just like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, the JRetcher Podcast, live every day at noon, Monday through Friday, talking all things Tampa Bay sports and beyond. And yeah, you'll catch me out at Bucs games, Lightning games, Rays games, USF, Rowdy, Sun, and I'm coaching baseball again. So I'll probably be out there on the field beating your son's favorite team as well. So
I like that.
It never ends, buddy.
Jay, real quickly, what's your real on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you feeling about the Tampa Bay Lightning this year?
I'm still for me. I think they're going to be good, but they're not better than the Panthers, so it's tough for me to feel real confident. I think they're like
a little further to the Panthers now.
I don't want to go there, but they're not deep enough. They're just not deep enough. I think their guys need to get, again, we just said how much better can guys. It's easy to tell how much better a team gets by free agency in the draft, but how much better do guys get from one year to the next? I don't see it. Florida was able to bring their guys back. They're the opposite of what the Lightning did. The Lightning could not bring a bunch of their guys back because it was a flat cap and they couldn't pay these guys. So they're just, all these guys get plucked off the Stanley Cup teams where the Panthers brought back their three big free agents. So it's just like, why would things change, right? So the Lightning really need to change it up. I don't think they've done enough. And until then, my expectations are a little tempered when it comes to the Bolts. They'll make the postseason, but until they can show that they can beat the Panthers, they're going to be second fiddle in the Sunshine State.
All right, man. As always, Jay, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know your time is valuable. Looking forward to getting you back on throughout the season. And I'm really enjoying you and Ian back together. That's awesome, man. So really
yeah, don't tell him that. He's a pain in my ass. A big pain in my ass. No, I'm just kidding. I love that guy. All right, now I got another reason to hope that the Bears do well. So I got you, buddy.
All right, man. All right.
Hey,
thank you, man. Thanks for joining us, bro.
You got it, pal. You guys be well.
You too. Love Jay Retcher, man. That dude is stand-up dude, man. Like I said, I really enjoy talking football with Jay. He knows his stuff. He's in those locker rooms. He's on the sideline. He's everywhere, man. And he dresses well. I don't know if you get a chance, Jamie. You got to check him out, man. He carries himself well. I like that.
I hate all these guests you've been having on the last few months. Everybody, without exception, every single one of them knows more about football than both of us combined. It's killing me.
It could be worse, buddy. It could be worse. So what do we got on the agenda? We got some really good viewers right now, man. We got some good viewership. I don't know.
Well, Ben brought up something about how there's always something in the NFL, right? And
right.
You mentioned as well, this guy's getting arrested. This guy's getting. You said you wanted me to bring you some news tonight.
Well, I got to get to the comments first. I kind of ignored.
Okay, let's get comments, and then I'll bring you the criminal reports from this week in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we already read that one. Let me swap this out here. I don't know if you saw what happened, Jamie, but I had to take this party inside.
Oh, I was watching. It was funny.
Yeah, no, it's not funny because I just bought this MacBook Pro Air, whatever it's called, with the M4, M5 chip. I don't know. It's way better, night and day. I still got to figure out the camera. It may look a little fuzzy. I don't know yet, but
no, your picture's looking clean.
Really beautiful. Love it. But it just started downpouring outside when I had my whole setup, and I had to bring it inside. I sound okay? How's the mic for this thing?
Yeah, well, everything's better inside. Right, I think you get a better signal there, so everything's coming through a little bit clearer. Picture's not breaking up as much. Also, the freak storms are not freak storms. There's a hurricane that's pushing up our way, so we're getting all the little spit-offs. I got that connection at NASA, the meteorologist, so he keeps me in the loop.
Nice. So let's go to the comments here. Virgin Boys, should I put money on Emeka Egbuka for AP Offensive Rookie of the Year? So I'm glad that you brought that up, Virgin Boys, and I love the name. So here's the thing. I'm thinking about betting, putting $100 on Emeka Egbuka winning Rookie of the Year because he looks fantastic in the preseason. And I get it's preseason, but I'm telling you right now, with some of the news that I received about Chris Godwin, he's going to get a lot of playing time. So I would take that bet, but only bet
over Travis Hunter, over Ashton Gianti, over Cam Ward.
It's going to be a race. We'll see what happens, man. Look, we've seen
Ketteroa McMillan.
Yeah, well, you know what, Jamie? We see this all the time. These big profile names come out, and they struggle their first year, second year. We could say the same about Caleb Williams. Who knows? Caleb Williams might come out this year and just light the world on fire. You know what I'm saying? He may have a better year than Jaden Daniels. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, as of right now, I mean, who is in a better situation, though?
Well, I will tell you, according to Vegas, 7 guys are in a better position than him. And Ashton Gianti and Cam Ward are like massive favorites. And then Omarion Hampton, who I forgot. Yeah. And then it goes Travis Hunter, Ketteroa McMillan, Tyler Shuff, Travion Henderson. Emeka Egbuka is plus 2,500 most places, plus 2,000 at one of the sites.
So if I was to put $100 on him winning Rookie of the Year,
yeah, I think you get 2,500, right?
Well, shout out to Harry the Greek because he always says only bet what you can lose. So I think I may put $50 on that or $100 on that. I mean, it is what it is. But let's get to the comments here. It would be nice to see Savasier Dennis get it going. Injuries has stalled his career so far. Hopefully he can get back on track. Ben Cornett, I 120% agree with you. But here's the thing. I just think, how can I put this? They have a good rotation of inside linebackers with Anthony Walker, Levante David, and obviously Savassier Dennis. I think Savassier Dennis is going to be fine this year. He's a thumper, like I say about Shiloh Sanders. They're a lot better defense with Savassier on the field. He's shown that he can play. But I'm not too worried about it because I believe guys like Hassan Reddick, Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea, and company, I think they're really going to step up this year, and I think it's going to be more about sacks for that defensive line. I'm telling you right now, they're going to create some turnovers. But yeah, I agree. I'd like to see Savassier Dennis stay healthy. I don't think he has a problem getting it going. So yeah, Ben Cornett, I can't hear you. You can hear me now. Yes, Mega Peter 909. You lost your audio. Yeah, we know. Not no more. The Ravens should have got it last year, but they beat themselves again against Buffalo. Ooh, Jamie, this is a good one for you to respond to. I definitely think they could have beat the Chiefs and would have gave the Eagles a game in the Super Bowl. I will say this, but I'm going to bring in Leo Haggerty, the man, the myth, the legend of Amped Up Sports. We have a lot of questions to ask him as well. But yeah, I do think the Ravens are going to get one within the next couple of years, if not this year. Leo, what is happening, buddy? You kind of missed out what happened to me. So had a nice, beautiful setup outside, Leo. And out of nowhere, we just got a freak thunderstorm, and it was pouring rain out. So now I'm inside the room, and I had to drag all the wires with me. So how's your night going for you?
Better than that. My daughter had me down for dinner, and I had steak and broccoli, and can't complain. Anytime somebody cooks for you, it's a good thing.
Yeah, well, we're live now on Around the NFL, Leo, with Jamie, who is no longer a depressed Bears fan. You met Jamie last week. We're going to be talking about some top news around the NFL. But we're getting to this comment by Ben Cornett here. Jamie, do you think they could, if the Ravens would have gotten in a little bit further, do you think they could have put up a better fight against the Eagles? I personally think they would. I would have rather seen the Eagles than the Ravens. What do you say?
Well, I mean, you're saying if they'd won this game and then won the next game, they could have had a good game after that. Maybe, of course, maybe. I suspect they would have given the Eagles a better game. But, I think a lot of the way that Buffalo has played the last few years, there's a lot of games where you can say, oh, somebody beat themselves against the Bills. It's the style that the Bills play, right? Is they exploit mistakes. They've got good motor, right. Especially when you look at a guy like Josh Allen. He finds gaps in defenses that other people aren't seeing. So it's really easy to look at tape and say, oh, they should have done this, they should have done that. But, in real time, guys may be doing their jobs. It's just that it's so hard to scheme against a guy like Allen.
Right. Leo, what do you think? Do you think, given if the Ravens could have made it to the Super Bowl, do you think that they would have been a better matchup against the Eagles? And do you think they could have beaten the Eagles?
It would have been a better matchup because you'd have had Derrick Henry pounding the rock. And that's something you just can't figure out how that's going to work. But I think someone said today that Henry and Jackson have the most yards combined between a quarterback and a running back. 2,800 yards between them, the two of them. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just like, it's unworldly. And we saw what a running game did to Kansas City. They had to try to stop Barkley, and now you're playing single coverage out on Brown and Smith and Goddard, and that didn't work out real well. No. But what I think is going to happen this year, and I think Baltimore is going to sit down and say, hey, how do the Eagles win this? They won it by running the football.
Yeah.
And they are going to pound that rock. And then just think about Jackson when you got to put 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. He'll tear you apart. Yeah. So, it'll be tough.
Yeah. So I got to ask you because, Leo, you broke some news on Amped Up Sports. with Chris Godwin in this situation. Let's talk about Chris Godwin. And Jamie, I'd like to get your thoughts on this. That was a terrible injury that Chris Godwin suffered. Now, what's your take on this? Because a lot of people, there's a lot of unknown going on. You know, is Godwin going to be ready this season? Can we see him this season? How do you feel? Where's your stance on this? Because Chris Godwin, to me, not only just on the field, but off the field, is an amazing human being. And any team is lucky to have him a part of their locker room. What's your take on Chris Godwin here? Do you see him playing in November, October, September? What's your take on this?
Well, my source is telling me that, again, you can't just decide what it is because you don't know how fast this guy's going to rehab. We know he had a second surgery, which is going to throw the rehab back a little bit.
Right.
But when you look at what's happening, and I asked this of my source, I said, best case scenario. They said October, probably late October. I said, conservative one, November, right around Thanksgiving. I said, worst case scenario, playoffs or done for the season.
Wow.
That
hurt.
Oh yeah. That's it. But I think anybody that thinks he's going to be ready in 4 games after the pup list is that's a pipe dream. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was
that's a medical miracle.
Yeah,
those things happen, and the Bucs are not going to rush this guy back at all.
No, you don't have to. Look at the level of depth, and I want to get your opinion on what you saw with the Buccaneers preseason. Jamie, I'll let you answer that. How are you feeling about Chris Godwin? I mean, I know you're a Bears fan, but you've expressed a great deal of respect for Chris. You've talked highly about Chris. What's your take on this?
Well, I think this is one of those situations where, I don't know enough about the behind the scenes stuff to weigh in on any of that. I trust Leo's expertise and connections. I think this is one of those situations where you're getting more than you pay for with a guy because I presume, I could be wrong, but I presume that he's going to be the sort of guy that's not only cheering the team on, but talking to the young guys, explaining what they might be missing, offering his expertise. And going back to what you were saying about Emeka Egbuka, that, hopefully that's the kind of guy who can say, well, look out for this here, look out for that there. But, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt. And there's no two ways about it.
Yeah. It sucks because Chris Godwin is such a valuable asset to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense when he's healthy. And Leo, Jamie, I've talked about this. Jamie, Leo, I kept saying he was on pace to have one of his best seasons. He was on pace to be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Jamie, I don't know if you can pull up the stats real quickly where he was at, his stats for last year and what week they were in. But I mean, geez, he was on pace to having one of the best seasons of his career. Am I wrong, Leo?
Oh yeah, he was right on pace. Absolutely.
And just the way he was playing. And he runs hard. Like after he catches the football, that's what I love about Emeka Egbuka. He reminds me a lot of Chris Godwin. Catching the football, but it's not when he catches it; it's what he does after with the football. He runs like a running back, and now we're seeing that with Emeka Egbuka. He catches a football. He's running the football like a running back, but not only that, his route running is so polished. We've seen what he's done in the offseason workouts. We've seen how he's manhandled the Titans cornerbacks, and speaking of cornerbacks, Leo, have you heard about what's been going on with Jalen Ramsey and Mike Evans? Taking him to the woodshed.
Are you surprised?
No, I think Evans is in fantastic shape going into this year. I think he looks phenomenal. I don't want to see him play the preseason. Maybe a couple of plays, maybe a couple of drives in the last game of the preseason to kind of get those juices flowing. But I don't want to see him this week at all. But yeah, taking Jalen Ramsey to the woodshed, I can appreciate some stuff like that. Jamie, do you have those stats or no?
Yeah, so he was on pace for a 1,400-yard season. He had 5 touchdowns through 7 games. He was averaging 11.5 yards per catch, 62 targets, 50 catches, which is pretty nice stat.
Yeah, it's just a shame because, like I said, he was on pace for serious.
That daggone slot screen like it's a trick play.
Yeah, nobody does it better than Godwin. I'll tell you that in the slot. Nobody, and that's why Brady. It was Brady's favorite receiver. I mean, imagine Brady if he had a guy like Godwin with the Patriots. I mean, he probably would have never came to the Bucs.
Nobody doubts that of Tom Brady's Super Bowls. The one he won here, he had the most talent.
Oh God, yeah. I say that all the time.
And that's because he didn't win with Randy Moss. But the ones he won, this was the most talent he had. Absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. I've always said this, and Jamie, you can back me up on this. Tom Brady, I don't think Brady was going to go anywhere else and win a Super Bowl. I honestly believe in my mind that him coming to the Buccaneers, I believe that instantly put us in the Super Bowl running because there was nowhere else that he would have gotten 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, the running back, the tight ends, and the defense. The defense played a huge factor in that. So let's go a little bit. Let's dive a little bit more deeper into the NFL. Jamie, what do you got for some news for us here? Anything interesting you got?
Well, it appears that the Browns are attempting to build a great franchise in the likes of the old Cowboys and Bengals, where part of their payroll is going to have to be some parole officers and bondsmen. Their rookie running back Quinshon Judkins just got looks like a nolo prosecutor, which means he won't be being tried for a domestic. And Isaiah Bond, who Leo, I don't know if we've mentioned this before. I'm a pretty diehard Crimson Tide fan. It's a long story why, but Isaiah Bond is not someone that we think of fondly, as he had a bright future and then announced that he would be more NFL ready if he went to Texas, whatever that means. But he will be playing technically in the NFL since he just signed with the Browns.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is he gets to choose one of 6 quarterbacks to catch the ball from. So
that's true too. But speaking of that, I mean, Leo, let me ask you, who do you think is going to get the start there?
Week 1, Flacco.
Yeah. Yep.
You think so?
Yep.
4, Sanders.
Has to be at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If they lose a game or 2 right out of the gate, they'll be clamoring for the guy. Because, he had the best rookie quarterback rating of anybody. And here's what drove me nuts is when he came out, and Louie, I said this on your show, said he has no running game. None. His offensive line, it's a sieve. And he's able to complete 60+% of his passes. What did he do the other night? Exactly that. 13 of 19. Duh. Yep. What you see is what you get. And I'll tell you what, a lot of people passed on Tom Brady. There's going to be a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth if Shedeur Sanders proves to be what he could be.
Yeah, all outside of a few teams, I want to say maybe outside of all of 7 teams, 8 teams, there was a lot of teams that I feel like made a big mistake on draft night on passing him up. I didn't like the attitude. You know how I feel about the attitude. I believe you got to be humble. And we're gonna get to a certain. I want to get your thoughts on Jason Licht's comments about Devin White. But Shedeur Sanders, I think he could really change that franchise around, or he can be the what's the word I'm looking for? He can ignite a change because they've been a laughingstock for many, many years. Probably one of the worst franchises that I've seen ran. Got rid of Baker Mayfield for a Deshaun Watson. That man should be in jail for theft for a contract and numerous of other things. but it's insane. I feel like they're gonna drop the ball on this somehow, some way. Cleveland is kind of like I don't know what to make of it. I feel so bad for their fans, but I will say this: they have a really good defense. If they let Shador play his game, maybe get him a little bit of help on the outside with some receivers. I really like David Njoku, but Bradley Chubb not being there. I mean, Nick Chubb not being there. You see what he's going to be doing with the Texans. I think he's going to need a little bit better of a running game, but I think he can do some good things. Speaking of attitude, Leo, Jamie, I want to ask you guys, what did you guys see what Jason Licht had to say about Devin White?
That's a little bit below the belt, I think, Louie. It's Devin White was a key member of that defense when they won the Super Bowl. And don't try to tell me he wasn't. Now, yeah, after that ship sunk quickly. But why is that even coming out? I mean, that should have been when they asked. Jason Licht should have just said, next question. He needed to stay above that. And the fact that he didn't, and then he kind of went down the road with some other guys. I don't think that's the way you want to go.
Right.
It's not like Antonio Brown who decided to throw his uniform out in the field.
Yeah, that was a sight to see with Antonio Brown, and I say to this day, if Antonio Brown never pulled that stunt, I think the Buccaneers would have won a Super Bowl that year. I think they would have went back to back. I don't have an issue with what he said. I think he probably should have maybe worded it a little bit differently. But I do agree with you. He should have gone to the next question. But I will say this, and we had Jay Retcher earlier on the show, and he had a good insight about it. But I will say this: Devin White had a lot of talent, Leo and Jamie. Jamie, we've talked about this. I think when we first started doing the lives on YouTube, he was the focal point of the first episode. Devin White's immaturity showed up, and I think Devin White kind of screwed Devin White with the arrogance after winning. He tasted success very young. I feel like he didn't know how to handle it, in my opinion. And the sense of the entitlement where I want that Roquan Smith money. You can't have Roquan Smith money if you're missing open tackles and giving up on plays. As far as what Jason Licht had to say, I mean, Jason Licht. Do I feel like he should have made that public? I mean, it is what it is. Jamie, what's your take on it?
I agree with Leo. I think I agree with everything he had to say, but it's not that he didn't say this, but hindsight is 20/20, right? But I think Leo is right that this guy was instrumental in bringing a Super Bowl to the city. You can't argue with his first few years, right? The numbers were there.
Fantastic.
There was one thing I thought was interesting. I read on one of the I can't remember which of the Bucs websites it was, but they brought up something that he said, which I think is something GM should be looking out for in the future, which is when he had the pre-draft press conference and he spoke about himself in the third person, and he said, "Get me now, because in the fifth year I'm going to be asking for $100 million."
That's
if a player comes out before they've done anything in the league and says, "This is how much money I expect to be making. And I get that it's part of the braggadocio and I have this much belief in myself and all that." But he didn't say, "I'm going to be worth this much because of how well I'm going to play. I'm going to be bringing rings to the city." He just said, "This is how much money I expect to get." And that is a valid warning sign. But what does it serve Jason Licht to say this now? Yeah. And what does it help the team? So it's good headlines in the preseason, but it does it help the team? Does it help Light's cause? I don't think so.
Two, right, guys? Sour grapes. That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah. I just think, because like I said, he was the first pick. And I was talking to Jay about this, and I said the reason why the Buccaneers drafted him, again, is because we had to deal with Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey in the division. We needed somebody to stop those two guys, and he was the guy. He was it. But unfortunately, like I said, the arrogance and Jamie, we've talked about this. Early on in the early beginnings of the Frozen Pirate podcast, that he's just got to stay off the social media. It's not serving a purpose. Just go out there and play. And that's it. And I hope nothing but the best for Devin White. I will say this. I didn't like what he said on the podcast, the pivot or the pilot, whatever it's called. He did say, he goes, hey, he was kind of not bashing the Buccaneers, but like, again, the narcissism of his character was coming out. Like, let me not talk about myself because, hey, I may need them for a contract one day. And
I remember that. Yep.
I'm not bashing him for saying that. What I'm saying is, this is what I've been talking about. You got to stop talking about yourself like this. You got to stop going on X or Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and complaining and doing all this, because what happens is if you do not show up, you're going to look like a fool. And to me, he looks like a fool. He's got pie in his face, unfortunately, because we saw the clip from the preseason. I mean, those drills, he got juked out by, I don't know who that was. And you're on your, third, fourth team now. Jay brought up a good point. This guy could have been a legend in Tampa. He wouldn't have to pay for a meal. And, those meals are expensive now. I think it's both parties are very sour. Like you said, Leo, sour grapes.
Yeah, I mean, you need to stay above that. If you're Jason Licht, he would have been off my board. Well, if he was off your board, you may not have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He had some major plays against Green Bay and against the Saints.
Yeah.
The game was still on the line. So, know.
And you know what? It's like I said, sometimes things like this happen. Unfortunately, it happened this way, and both parties are separated, and it is what it is. But Leo, I know you got to run, but let me ask you a few more questions here. Should the Buccaneers play any starters week 2? Yes or no?
You got to play them somewhere. You can't go into the regular season with them not taking a snap. I kind of think I'd be better off with that happening week 3. I'd like to see both of them, week 2 and week 3.
Yeah.
Get like maybe 2 series in week 2 and then a quarter and a half in week 3, because you're going to go in at halftime and you're going to have no frame of reference. Yeah, you're going to remember from last year or the year before that, but that body forgets those bad moments, and you're going to go in and go, oh my God, I feel terrible. In fact, I can remember the Eagles when they came down here and got beat. They said, we were done at halftime. Mother Nature had taken its toll on us, and we couldn't get enough fluid back in us. So, I think when you look, I take that back. I believe that you can't get better sitting on the bench. You got to get something out of the field. And you know what? I think this is why you're seeing a lot of these joint workouts, because you know why, Louie? You can't hit the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And now you're seeing ones go against ones, and they know the quarterback's safe. During a game there, he's not. So yeah. I just wanted to see how many snaps Baker was taking there, and that would be key, because now it's hands off on the quarterback.
Right. Also, from what we've seen week 1 of the preseason, a lot of good things happened. Ryan Miller, showed up for a wide receiver. Another running back emerging for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jacob Parrish looks good. We know all that. We've analyzed all that. But I got to ask you, who needs to step up from week 1? For me, I need to see more from the defensive line. The second and third and fourth string guys, somebody needs to generate some pressure. I need to see some sacks. They created some turnovers. I understand that. But I want to see some sacks. I want to see more out of Shiloh Sanders. I think he looked very good on the blitz. Todd Bowles' specialty. but he looked out of position a few times. Got a little manhandled here and there. But I'm looking to see Shiloh Stanford step up in the second week. And I'm also looking up the defensive line as well. Who are some key guys that you think need to step up or position-wise?
Well, you got to figure out what you're doing at wide receiver. I mean, you got a backlog of people there.
Yeah.
And
That's a bad thing, though.
Miller's making it very difficult to get rid of him.
Yeah.
That's, you catch the football. That's all you can ask him to do.
Yep.
I understand about, defensive linemen that you got. I don't necessarily need to see sacks. I need to see hurries. Mm-hmm. I need him to get this guy off his spot.
Yeah.
Because an NFL quarterback can throw it where he wants to, when he wants to, and to whom he wants to. You're getting beat. Plain and simple. These guys are that good. You've got to make life miserable for them. Drive them off their spot, and when you get a chance to hit them, hit them.
That's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's not flag football.
No. Slowly, almost turning into it, but I don't think we'll see it in our lifetime. All right, Leo. I know you got to run. What do you got going on, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, tomorrow, nothing happening at USF. Bucs are up in Pittsburgh. Saturday, I'm going out to the Tampadelphia Eagles Club. They're looking at a new restaurant where they go. And, Louie, I don't hide it. You cut me, I bleed cheesesteak. That's just the way. Going to go out there Saturday.
Well, who's better, Pats or Geno's? Who do you prefer?
Oh, Pats.
Pats?
Pats. You know what? There's a place out in Overbrook.
Really?
They had the belly filler. It was 2 foot long. You couldn't finish it.
2 foot long? No, probably not. No.
Well, back when I was 17, 18, 19, I gave it a good shot. But
I don't know if I could do that. I'd have to take Tums after that. I wouldn't be very.
Out on Overbrook Avenue, Larry's. I don't know if it's even there anymore, but we had a couple in my town in Willingboro. Gaetano's was one of them, and Amato's. We'd go one place for pizza and one place for cheesesteak. So it was neat, but Tony Luke's is the big place now in Philly.
Really? So there was a place that because I used to go to the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention in January a lot. And there was a spot we used to go to. It was a bar called Tattooed Moms. And then I think it's maybe on the South and 6th Street, I want to say. I don't know. We're going back a while ago. But there was a little spot, little hole-in-the-wall place. And they had, I think at the time it was like $8. You could get a whole ton of fries, cheese fries, and a cheesesteak with a fountain drink. And it was probably by far the best cheesesteak I've ever had in my life. I haven't had Pat's yet.
You know what's really good on a cheesesteak? Bacon.
Okay.
Oh, there was a place in Maple Shade, New Jersey that did that. Bacon, they call it steak, bacon, and cheese. And believe me, smother that with onions, a little bit of ketchup. I tell you what, you guys are going to be drooling the rest of the show.
You already got me hungry now, so now I want to eat that. All right, Leo, I appreciate you coming on. I will see you
next Thursday, guys.
Same time. Good night, Leo.
Good night.
Hi, Leo. Thank you.
Leo Haggerty, man, the man, the myth, the legend. As always, Jamie, I love talking to Leo. Leo's got a lot of good insight, man. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff, man. I will say that. He knows his stuff. So speaking of since we're doing around the NFL here live, I gave Dino an invite. I don't know where he's at. Maybe he's busy. Who needs to step up for the Chicago Bears, man? Who you got?
I think it'd save us all time if I just listed who doesn't need to step it up for the Bears. I mean, it's what we talked about before, right? For me, it's going to be the O-line. Can this be the year, the first time since 06, the Owen Krutz O-line, that we actually get something done? Hope so. But you've heard me say this a million times. We're always the off-season champions. It's always great to get our hopes up and start thinking this year is going to be the year. But I'm cautiously optimistic, which is probably the best I've felt about the Bears in 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing the show a while back with you. You weren't too happy about the Bears, and for the new people out there, because I see you guys all tuning in, I appreciate that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Frozen Pirate Podcast YouTube channel. I promise you, we're going to be doing a free jersey giveaway. It's just with all the new equipment, and I'm trying to get everything going, making sure the audio is good. Obviously, it may not be too good right now. I had to run inside from a freak rainstorm. But you weren't. It was tough watching the Bears, and you kind of made me very intrigued with the Bears. And I was so happy. I was a Bucs fan, living life, man. And the Bucs would win, And then I was sitting there watching the Bears, and I'm just like, I was like legitimately like depressed. I'm like, I could never be a fan of this team full time. This team would make me drink. Like this team, like why do they lose like this? Why?
Yeah, which game was it that you texted me?
Oh man,
I don't even think it was the Commanders game. I think
it wasn't that game. It was before that.
No, I think it was after that because
was it
after that? Remember, we started like 4-0, and then we went on a 10-game.
It was when they messed up the timeouts.
God, it was either that or it was the blocked field goal against the Packers. It was one of those two games where you were just like, what? Yeah. And I remember you texting me. You said, I get it now. I get it now. You guys win. It's worse for you than it is for us.
I don't ever want to walk in that abyss again. All right.
I brought you up to a friend who knows ball.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I've been doing this podcast for a little while with my buddy. And I said, he's a diehard lifelong Buccaneers fan. And he said, oh, that is suffering. That guy knows suffering. And I said, well, remember, I'm a Bears fan. And he said, oh, what are you guys doing together? What are you even talking about? I said, no. Things are better now.
Yeah.
But it's been bad for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I just honestly, Jamie, I feel like as fans, we kind of hit those rough patches. And that actually leads me into my next segment right here on Around the NFL Live. When winning, it feels great. Like I said, and from 97, I started to see the Buccaneers transition into a much better team. And I wish I would have brought this up when Leo was here, but arguably the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had one of the best defenses of all time, in my opinion. And when I say all time, I mean longevity wise. Nobody's done it better than the Buccaneers from 97 to 2003, 2004, as far as defense goes. Arguably, a lot of people think that the 2002 Buccaneer defense is the best Buccaneer defense. I don't think so. I don't think so. If you go back and you look at the statistics, I don't know if you want to look it up real quickly, Jamie, but if you go back and you look at the 1999 Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, that was one of the most vicious defenses of all time. Nobody wanted to play them. And it was ugly games, 9-5. The defense was the offense at times. But, we hit rough patches, especially as Buck fans. But Bears fans, it's a little different, I feel, with you guys.
Good Lord. Trent Dilford passed for 1,600 yards that season.
That's why I told you. The Buccaneer defense was the offense, too. It's wild. It's insane because, like I said, I couldn't believe, like some of the statistics that because I went back and I looked at it because I would say, no, it was the 85 Bears. It was the steel curtain. But longevity wise, and I really got into like a deep dive with the Buccaneer defenses. And I'm like, holy shit, they've been doing it for a long time. But that 99 defense was fantastic.
Derek Brooks had 153 tackles that year.
1999, bud. Dude.
Wait, get this. 153 tackles and 4 interceptions. 18 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, which he recovered both of them. That stat line is unreal.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's just that 99 Buccaneers.
Donnie Abraham had 7 picks that year.
Yeah, keep going.
25 passes defended. Wow. I mean, I remember him, but I don't remember him playing at that level. He also had 2 sacks. Yeah. They must have been running that Fox blitz. Warren Sapp, 12.5 sacks. Good Lord, you had 6. You had 21 picks that season. That's wild.
It was one of the greatest defenses of all time, hands down. And that was the
43 sacks and 21 picks.
Yeah. And that was the year that the Titans and the Rams played in the Super Bowl. And I don't give a shit what anybody says, and excuse me for cussing, but honestly, the Buccaneers should have been in the Super Bowl that year against the Titans, but I feel like the NFL just didn't want that 9-6 Super Bowl type of deal, and I get it.
16 forced fumbles, so you were averaging a forced fumble a game and over an interception a game. You had 355 yards of interception yardage.
Dude, that was one of the greatest defenses of all time, and nobody talks about it.
Donnie Abraham had 2 pick sixes. That's some pretty wild.
You didn't know that, huh? Dude, I'm telling you.
I remember that defense. I remember them being phenomenal. Like it's not like it's not like people don't know that they were phenomenal, right? It's just
it was on a different level. Arguably, I think that Buccaneer ball club that year, that defense definitely could have competed with any of the offenses of this year. I mean, I'm telling you, I would have put that defense against any one of these offenses this year.
Well, let's compare it. Urlacher had 140. Wow, this is wild. So the 06 Bears, Urlacher had 142 tackles. Briggs had 134.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of similar stats. Mark Anderson had 12 sacks. For you, Warren Sapp had 12 and a half. For us, our picks leader was 5, but we had 2 different guys with 5 picks. We had 279 yards returned. Let's see. Wow, 27 forced fumbles. That's unreal. So we had 24 picks and 27 forced fumbles. So we were averaging 3 turnovers a game. More than that?
I got a question for you. This is actually kind of funny because
we were averaging over 3 turnovers a game.
So let me ask you this. If the 99 Buccaneers played the 06 Bears, who's winning that game, and what's the scoreline like? You got Sexy Rexy as the quarterback.
Yeah, who is better than Dilfer by like 1,500 yards. He did have 3,200 yards passing that season. I mean, we had more of an offense that year than I give us credit for. Remember, we had Thomas Jones that year, 1,210 yards rushing.
The great Buccaneers running back who got away. Yep. Keep going.
I mean, you guys had Allstott as your leading rusher.
Yeah, WD-40 work done in Mike Allstott.
But Allstott was your leading rusher, and he was, 807? Hold on, I've still got it up here, actually. 900 yards, I think. 949 yards. We had Moose. Moose and Muhammad was wide receiver.
I don't know. That's a tough call, man. That's a tough one because, like I said,
I'll tell you the tiebreaker. I'll tell you the tiebreaker, and that's that we had Devin Hester.
Okay, special teams comes in effect.
6 return touchdowns. I mean, look, that's a fantastic defense. But I think with both teams, it almost wouldn't have mattered what the opposing defense was because our offense also fell apart against bad defenses. So it's not like, Yeah,
exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, what's that scoreline looking like?
I'll tell you what, there would have been 10 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 4 picks on each team.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the defense would have to score some type of points there. Because I don't think the offense.
Well, so that is part of what led me to thinking that it would be the Bears. I mean, some of it is just homerism and wanting my team to win. But part of it is, and I'll see if I can find the stat, but that year the Bears had the highest percentage of points scored by defense and special team of any team in history. And I think the next closest team was more than 10 percentage points below us.
Wow.
Let's see how far advanced Google's AI has gotten if it can pull up this relatively difficult search.
I should ask AI who would win in a game like that. Because again, I think that I would love to see that. We were supposed to get on to another segment, but I'm actually kind of interested about this. I'd like to see in the comments. I mean, I think it's going to be pretty one-sided in the comments. People got to be football first, football realists first. But I mean, I'm kind of curious to see who would win that. it's tough because, like I said, nobody really talks enough about that 99 Buccaneer ball club. And that's, again, what was the 1999 Buccaneers season? Do you remember why they lost that game, Jamie?
No, I don't remember. Let's see. When was 99? That was my.
They named it. Here's a trivia question.
It was my junior year of high school, I think.
They
forgot you had Martin Gramatica then. I forgot about that.
Automatica Gramatica, baby.
Martin
Gramatica. Remember his brother when he made that field goal and he tore his ACL?
Yes.
Celebrating? Oh, man, poor bastard. But no, I mean, like I said, that's a crazy game to think of. The 99 Buccaneers versus the 06 Chicago Bears. And I think that it would have been brutal to watch both of those offenses play. Let me put that in. 99 Bucs versus 06 Bears.
Here's a really fun answer from 6 years ago on Reddit, so Lord knows how much of it's true. However, it's a pretty detailed answer. If you remove extra points and 2-point conversions entirely, there are two teams since the AFL-NFL merger in 70 that defense and special teams scored more points than the offense.
Right.
One is the 97 Chargers. The other is the 77 Bucs.
Huh. Wow. So I just asked AI how this game would play out. So it's funny. It's crazy because it's telling me right now exactly what you said. So it says, my pick, if it's a straight up neutral field playoff atmosphere, I think the 99 Buccaneers win more often than not. The defense could smother Grossman, force turnovers, and grind the clock with the run game. Something like 17-10 Tampa Bay. The only way, now this is when you come in, Jamie. Yeah, right on it. The only way the 2006 Bears take it is if Hester breaks one or the defense scores, which they could, but drive for drive, the 99 Bucs defense is on a different level.
I think that's a fair breakdown. Of course, it's saying if the defense and special teams don't do the things that they did all season long against everybody.
Right.
I mean, remember that stat I gave you, we were averaging over 3 forced turnovers a game.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's 50-50 because like I said, like the AI just said, it comes down to the Buccaneers. Can they smother Rex Grossman, forced turnovers, or can the Chicago Bears break one with Hester? And he's an X factor. I wanted to talk about this earlier because of the physicality. We have to talk. We have to take a little trip up to the 508 up north with the New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel jumping into a big-time melee. Did you hear about this?
No.
Oh, yeah. Look that one up, buddy. Mike Vrabel jumping into a melee. Big fight breaks out at practice, and he jumps in there and breaks it up. I can't say enough about Mike Vrabel. And I didn't think he was the guy for the Patriots, but I'm telling you what, man. Bold prediction. You can write it down. Patriots are going to be something special to watch this year, I think.
Well, I can't write that down.
Well, no. I'm saying they're going to be something to watch this year. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I think they're going to be physical, dude. I think he's going to bring back the old school physicality way of playing football because he has that Belichick mentality, but he just brings a different toughness to that team. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them. Does that make sense to you?
Off guys, if I was in a fight, I watched it. It wasn't that much. Just a little bit of a shoving match. I mean, it's fun to watch him do it, and he's the guy you would expect to do it, right?
Right. Him and Dan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? A couple guys like that. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I think the Patriots are primed for a much better season this year, and I'm watching Drake May.
Sure, yeah.
Watching Drake May cook with Diggs, and a lot of people are sleeping on that defense, but that defense looks pretty good.
I don't know how much people are sleeping on that defense. I think for a few years now, everyone's been saying,
well, I mean,
all they have is that defense.
Gonzalez can't stay healthy, and da-da-da-da. And listen, Christian Gonzalez.
Well, he is, for the record, hurt again right now.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I mean, when he's healthy in the games, dude, he's a top 15, top 10 corner in my opinion. That kid's good.
Oh, top 10. I think top 10 for sure.
Very good.
But he can't stay healthy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. What's the deal with Terry McLaurin? Do we have any news on that? I mean, it's looking like what Dino said, $28 million a year. That's what they want to pay him.
Latest I've been seeing is no, nothing's happening. I mean, it's like you always get with these situations is a lot of rumors, a lot of, one coach said this, an insider says this.
A lot of rumors.
Yeah.
We don't know. I had to bring it up because did you watch, and we're going to get off topic here. We're going to get into final thoughts. Did you watch on Netflix the Kill Tony special? They had Joe Biden. I forgot who was playing Joe Biden. And they had Donald.
The guy that plays Joe Biden is the same guy that does Dr. Phil, Adam Ray.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did you watch it?
I mean, I've seen them a bunch of those. Yeah, they do it regularly.
Well,
I was watching the latest Kill Tony last night, but it wasn't very good, and I was tired, so I went to bed.
Well, there was a chick on there. I can't say what she said. I'll tell you off air, but it was pretty funny. I forgot her name. But when I was watching Shane Gillis and the other guy doing Trump and Biden, I was laughing like a schoolgirl. Like the Shane Gillis, I tip my hat off to him. He does a very good job. And then what's his face? They were talking about something, and then he's like, "Hey, so what?" Like it was just so on point. Like kudos to those guys. And a lot of people are like, "You just saw that?" Yeah, I just saw it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a while ago. To be fair.
But I mean, for me, it was funny because I just seen it. I mean, we don't get to really watch a lot of TV. We've been doing a lot of traveling, me and Aubrey and the kid, so we don't really, when we do get to sit down and watch some TV, we seen that. And like I said, that was hilarious. I hands down was probably one of my favorites. Well, I wouldn't say stand-ups, but comedy show. I was laughing from start to finish. He does a perfect.
No, it was good. It was very good.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Imagine being like the president or a former president and seeing somebody do that. How do you feel about that?
Oh, it's got to be heartbreaking, right?
Like, you know how Trump is with the egos and stuff like that. How do you think he felt when he seen that? I don't sound like that. First of all, I'm working on the impersonation. I can't do it as good as Shane Gillis, but
it could use some work, sure.
lot of. I can't do it. I'm in the house. I'm not in the garage where I normally do this. And I tried to do this episode outside, and just figures it was a beautiful day out, beautiful night out, and then all of a sudden I see a huge lightning bolt go across the sky. I'm like, I check my phone, get a weather alert. I'm like, oh great. So Jay was talking, and I'm like, hey Jay, I'm gonna put you on well, you saw the thing.
I watched it.
Yeah, that was brutal. All right, man. We got to keep this under 2 hours. Final thoughts, Jamie. It was actually a really good show. I'm not going to lie. We had a lot of good guests. AJ Turnup of The Aftermath and Bucs Report was here, and also of It's About Buck and Time. He shared some good insight on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As a diehard Bucs fan, love to see that type of passion and energy. Jay Retcher absolutely killed it. If you guys didn't watch the full show, go to the YouTube channel, the Frozen Pie Podcast. I enjoyed myself, and you coming on here with Leo Haggerty, some good stuff. What are some final thoughts, Jamie? What are you looking for towards the end of the season? The end of the season. I'm already thinking about this show. The week 2 of the preseason. I've had a long work week, man. I'm sorry.
Me too. I bought a house yesterday. Shoot.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, week 2 is when it starts to get a little more interesting because you see more of the starters. We're going to know a lot more this time next week. I will say to anyone listening at home, I was looking at some numbers the other day. As you guys know, I love my stats. Don't be fooled by the injury reports. We are on par with any other preseason for injuries. It's just that there are more shows like what Louie and I do. There are more podcasts. There are more people are covering it in more depth. So it may feel like there are more injuries than normal, but there aren't. And every year your team is going to lose one guy in the preseason that you go, oh man, we're in trouble. It happens to every team. It happens every year. bad teams with bad strength and conditioning coaches and bad trainers, it happens to more often, but it's going to happen to everybody somewhere along the way. So cautious optimism. I'm definitely curious to see how the Bears look. I think they got the Bills on Sunday. God, I really hope my lovely and loving family will allow me some time to watch that one. I think I got to watch about 6 minutes of the Bears last weekend. So
I had a fire going and the projector. So, and
I saw. I was very jealous.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, like and subscribe to the podcast. We will be back next Tuesday with some Buccaneer talk, recapping week 2 of the preseason. As always, go Bucs, F the Saints. Go ahead, Jamie.
Oh, I get to do it? Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Go Bears, F the pack.
That's that, guys. See you next Tuesday.